And shalom. Yahbashin Yahshua to all the brothers, Yahweh Shema, and the Thunderbashin Yahweh to all the sisters. This is Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander Journey Hana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible. All right, this is Isupk, Florida, Sabbath service. All right, and we will go ahead and get this thing started. All right, I'm Precinct Officer 500 Markazar. All right, and today we're going to be reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 3. All right, so with that. Yashala. All right, Amidium, which means to stand. We're going to set up the prayers. All right, Before Hakadam, please turn and face the east. Wherever your east is, that's where you're going to turn. All right, first in the Hebrew and then in the English. All right, everybody repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Yah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakika, Taba'ah, Razazakah, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arasa, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Nathanana, Nakam, Kal, Yawan, Wasalakanawa, Kawawakanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kawawakinawa, Wala'ah, Davyanawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashanawa, Ayan, Rai, Kayat, Nakah, Amalakwa, Wala'ala, Waltapara, La'ai, Walamim, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. A cup means the power. All right, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh, Ba'akashah, Nathananah, a cup, Larafa'ah, Ka Makalah, Ka Mawa, a cup, Latahar, Hazazariah, Slaki, Hamasazariah, a cup, Lakoyam, a Mathiam, a cup, Larakawa, Hatama'ala, Nagarshan, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, the water Aman, in English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against our clean spirit to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. All right, Psalms 121. All right, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Hahariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Ashah, Shamayam, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawa, Yasmin, Shamarka, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'ala, Yayashan, Sharamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Zalka, Al-Yah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'akaka, Wayarak, Bala Yala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Rai, Yashamar, out in the posture, Yahweh, Yashamar Taza Apka, Wabba Apka, Ma'aika, Wa'ai Lam in English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thee from going out and thy coming in from this time forward and forevermore. All right, Psalms 83. First in the Hebrew, then in English. Alahayam, Al Dayamalaka, Al Dakarash, Wa Al Dashakwat, Al Kaya, Ana, Awayabika, Yahamayamwa, Slaki, Yahama, Yawan, Wamashanayaka, Nashaawa, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'ira Yamwa, Sawa. All right. Wayataya Aitazawa. Al to Slaki, Al to the Punwanika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakido, Bogoya, Bala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Awad, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, La, Yagwa, Aunika, Baryak, Yakarahua, Ahoya, Adawan, Waya Shemai, Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagarim, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Pakasha, I'm Yashabia, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Alawa, Amon, Ayawa, Zarawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Asharlahum, Kamadian, Kasaya Sara'ah, Kayabian, Bunakol, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan, Ba'ra, Yawa, Yaman, La'adama, Shayatam, Shayat, Thamwa, Shayatamwa, Nadayabu, Kara, Wakazabak, Wakazabak, Wakazal, Waka, Tazalmanai, Kal, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Marwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Na'awa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Galgala, Aquash, Apunya, Aka, Kaash, the Ba'ira Ya'ira, Wakala, Wakala, Kaba, Dalahat, Arim, Khan, Daradama, Basa Irika, Wabasa Wapanyu, Wapaka, Salaki, Waba, Sawapaka, Daba Halal, Salaki, Daba Halam, Mala'a, Banyaham, Palawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Idea I, Wayakaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Adaiwa, Aya, Ata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Al, Yawan, Al, Dal, Arasa. In English, keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thy enemy make it to mold. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And they are confederate, and they consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, Salaki. All right, I started over Salaki. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more bear remembrance. But they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Jabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, the inheritance of Tyre. The Assyrians also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Seir, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasum, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, made their nobles like a red, and like Zei, yea, all their princes like Zabal, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of our power and possession. O my power, make them no make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire, so persecute them with thy tempers, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right, sorry to make the turn. Yeshavia, which means to sit. All right. One second. Salaki. Had it on mute. Salaki, y'all. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 3. La'ah, la'ah, call, dawaiba, verse 4. Za'ath, haba hama, ashar, da'akalawa, shawar, shah, kashabayam, washa, Isayam, verse 5. Ayal, Watazabia, Waya, Kamarwar, Waya, Kamawar, Wakwa, Wada Yash, Shlaki, Wada Yashan, Wata Iwa, Wazamar, verse 6. Wakal, Bahama, Maparasath, Parasa, Washa Sa I, Shasai, I mean Shlaki, Shashai, Slaki, Shasai, Shataya, Parasa Wath, Ma'ai Lath, Gara, Bahama, Ata, Da'akalawa, verse 7. Ad, Ath, Za, La'a, Da'akalawa, Ma'ailawa, Slaki, Ma'ailaya, Hagara, Wama, Maparayasaya, Haparasa, Hashasa, Wa'ai, Ath, Hagamal, Wa'ath, Ha'ara, Nabath, Wa'aith, it's like Wa'ath, Hashapan, Kaya, Ma'aila, Gara, Hama, Waparasa, La'ah, Haparaya, Sawa, Tama'a, it's like Tama'ayim, Hum, Lakam, verse 8. Wa'ath, Hachaza, Yara, Kaya, Mapara Yasa, Parasa, Hawa'ah, Wala'ah, Gara, Tama'ah, Hawa'ah, Lakam, Mabosha, it's like Mabosha, Rum, La'ah, Da'a, Kalawa, Waban, Balatam, La'ah, Daga'ai, verse 19, Ath, Za, Da'i Kalawa, Makal, Ashar, Bamayum, Kal, Ashar, Lawa, Sanapa, Yar, Wakwa, Shakwashat, Da'akalawa, verse 10. Wakal, Ashar, Ayan, Lawa, Sana, Payar, Wakwasha, it's like a Wakwash, Kwashath, La'ah, Da'akalawa, Tama'ah, Hawa'ah, Lakum. All right. So we're going to drop it right there, and we're going to pick back up and on verse 11. All right. So we're going to read this in the English and see what it says. All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 3. All right. In English. Thou shalt not eat anything abominable. It's like any abominable thing. All right. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, and the roebuck, and the fowler, deer, and the wild goat, and the pagarga, if I said that right, Salaki, and the wild ox, and the comores, pronounce that, and every beast that pardon the hoof, and clothed the cliff into two claws, and chew the cud amongst the beasts that you can eat. So what it's telling you is giving you the dietary law. The dietary law is showing you exactly what you can eat, and the dietary law also show you what you cannot eat. I know everything we think is so delicious, it's a delicacy, it's good. Some people say they got proteins in it, but the Lord says something different. He says otherwise. He said these things you must not eat, but these are the things that you can eat. Right? It named a few things, quite a few, which is the deer. It names the cow, be beast, the goat. It didn't name the cow just then, but if you know what I mean, these are the different animals that you can eat, which is the ox, the deer, the goat, chicken, the cow. All right. These are just a few things that you can eat. But the things that you cannot eat would be what? That's pork. You cannot eat pork. You cannot eat shrimp. You cannot eat crabs. Anything that you get from the sea or the rivers, if they don't have fins and scales, you cannot eat it. Anything that's of a beast that do not split the hoof, all right, that's the foot. All right, if it don't split and they don't chew the cud, you cannot eat it. All right, everybody want to eat raccoon, they want to eat possum, they want to eat alligator, they want to eat all these other different animals, but the Lord says you cannot eat those because you don't chew the cud or split the hoof. All right, He's telling you this for a reason, because it's not good for you. It's not good for the body. All right, because for example, these things also eats dead animals. All right, the animals that they just named on verse 4 and 5, these are, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say they eat herbs. All right, they eat grass, they eat hay. All right, these are the things that they do eat. They don't go out and they eat animals, dead animals and stuff like that there. Now, don't get me wrong. If the food system is scarce and there's no food nowhere where they have to go and survive and try to find different foods and grass, and there's a drought on everything, then that's something different. All right, because I know many people would say, well, those animals that you named, they do eat dead animals and stuff like this here. No, it have to be a scarce on food. All right, it have to be a drought, a bad drought, for them to be desperate enough to eat these things, and it's not good for them either. But even when they eat these things, they also die too. All right, they don't have good health like us. We don't have good health when we eating pork. You know what I mean? It causes all different types of health issues that it's always been named. But it's so sad that even though our people hear the truth about this, they still go out and they eat it anyways. Like they just don't care. All right. But if you love the Lord, you would not disobey what he told you not to do. All right. All right. Let's go to verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the clove. It's like it divide the cloven hoof. All right. You know how cloves look, right? Got like the little circle with a little V in it. That's cloven. All right. If you look at like the little grass, they have the clove grass. All right. That's how the feet should look. If it don't, so this is what it's explaining to you right now. It's going into if it don't have that and it don't chew the cud, this is what you must not eat. All right. As so like let me start back over. Nevertheless, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore, they are unclean unto you. All right. And I know how many times you done been around people in the country, they want to go and hunt rabbit and coney, and I mean, even the Arabs start cooking up camels. All right. This is the reason why the Lord separated us from these other nations, is because they do things that we should not do. All right. He gave us a law and a set of rules that we should follow, that we should not do as the other nations. All right. We shouldn't follow behind them or be like them. Don't envy them. Separate yourself from these people. All right. The Lord don't want you to be doing things like this here. Like you got people in the woods and the forest, they hunt rabbit. All right. They do it for sport and they do it for eating. All right. The ones that eat it is telling you, all right, these animals, they chew the cud. All right. Like the rabbit and the cow, excuse me, and the camel, but they do not split the hoof. My bad, Slocky. They divide the hoof, right? But they do not chew the cud. Oh, Slocky, my bad, my bad. They hoof split. Hold on, but divide not the hoof. All right, they foot don't divide, but they chew the cud. Salaki. All right, let's go to the next one. Verse 8. And the swine. All right, we all know what swine is. Swine is a pig. All right, it's going to tell you about the pig. Because it divideth the hoof, yet chew not the cud. It is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. All right. The Lord is telling you. And you see, that's the reason why people say the laws are done away with in the Old Testament. We don't go by that no more. Because now they're saying that everything that the Lord was given to the children of Israel, that we don't have to listen to that. Now we can do everything freely. All right. And their favorite word is free will. We have the will to not eat it, and we have the free will to eat it if we want. And we're still going to live. All right. The Lord's still going to bless us because we have free will. We have free will to listen to God if we want to and if we don't. I mean, the Lord put us down here so we can make whatever choice we want to make. All right. We just don't do bad. But you have to think, if you don't listen to God, that is doing bad. You're doing what's evil in the sight of the Lord. How can you decide what is good and what is bad if the Lord don't give you the instructions on what is bad, the do's and the don'ts, the rights and the wrong? How do you know that it's good or bad? You can't distinct this stuff from you can't decide this stuff for yourself. All right. You don't have the mindset to be able to identify what is wrong and what's right. The Lord must tell you what's wrong and what's right. All right. That's why these people go out and they do the things that they do, because they don't know what is wrong and what is right. And when the Israelites go and follow these same people, they want to do the same exact thing. They feel that they should be able to decide what is wrong and what's right. That's wrong also, because the Lord told you to obey him. All right. We have to get that in the mind. All right, verse 9. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters. All right. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. All right. Now it's telling you in the waters, which is the rivers and the sea, in the ocean, these what you can eat if it has fins and scales. All right. If it don't have fins and scales, you may not eat it. A lot of animals that we think that have fins, that we think that have scales, little micro scales or whatever you want to call it. Listen, those are abominable to the Most High. All right. Like tuna. Everybody eat tuna. But tuna does not have scales. All right. It don't. Catfish don't have scales. All these different animals do not have scales. That's in the sea. Only fish. Different types of fish. You have bass. You have farm bred animals. Fish. You have whiting. You may have cod, if I'm not mistaken. It's all different types of fish that have fins and scales that you may eat. But if it don't, you cannot eat it. All right, especially if you're trying to eat crabs, you want shrimp. Those the shell that's on the shrimp, it's not a scale. It's a shell. All right, and it don't have fins, so you may not eat shrimp. You can't eat crabs. You can't eat octopus or squid or turtle, like these Chinese people be doing. All right, you cannot eat those things. Let's keep going. Verse 10. And whatsoever have not fins and scales, ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. So I know a lot of our people have a hard time with accepting that. All right. But this is facts. The Lord told you cannot eat that. And when you tell our peoples that they can't eat crabs or shrimps, listen, they'll give up everything in the world, but they won't give up crab, lobster, and shrimp or pork. They'll throw away their whole relationship that's been lasted for 28 years before they give up crab, lobster, shrimp, or pork. That's sad. All right, so let's go back into the Hebrew. And we're going to pick back up at it, verse 11. All right, in the Hebrew. All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 11. Call Taza Pawar Tahara Salaki Da'akalawa, verse 12. Wazah Ashar La'ah Da'akalawa Maham Hanashar Wahapara Salaki Waha Parasa Wahai Zanaya, verse 13. Wahara'ah Wa'ath Ha'aya Wahada Ya Lamayan Slaki Lama Yana, verse 14. Wa'ath Kal Irab Laba Slaki Lama Yanawa Wa'ath Bath Haya Aina Wa'ath Hatak Masa Wa'ath Hasha Khap Slaki Hapa Wa'ath Hanataza Lamaya Nahawa Ath, verse 16. Ath Hakawasa Wa'ath Hayana Shawap Wahata Slaki Wahatan Shamath, verse 17. Wahakwa Ath Wa'ath Haraka Ma Wa'ath Hashalad, verse 18. Wahakata Kasa Yada Wahana Pa Lamayan like Lama Yana Hadawa Kayapath Wahai Talap, verse 19. Wakal Sharatazah Shalaki, my bad. I just had to look what that meant. Oh crap. All right. Sharatazah Hawap Tama'a Hawa'a Lakum La'ah Ya'akalawa, verse 20. Call Awap Tahawar Da'akalawa. All right, let me make sure that was the right place. All right, that was it. All right, so we'll get that back in English. And yes, if you didn't know, we read in the KJV. All right, we'll start at verse 11. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 11. Of all clean birds ye shall eat. All right, now it's giving you the birds that you can eat. All right. Because every bird you catch or that you shoot down, you're not allowed to eat. Thus saith the Lord. The Lord gives you exactly what you can eat and what you cannot eat. All right. This is called the dietary law. All right. Laws on the dietary things you can eat and that you can't eat. Excuse me. All right, verse 12. But these are they of which ye shall not eat: the eagle, the ossifrage, and the ostrich. Verse 13. And the khalid, and the kite, and the vulture after its kind. Like every different type of vulture you must not eat. I'm going to break it down once we get finished with this. I said this earlier. Verse 14. And every raven after its kind. So every different ravens you cannot eat. All right. And the owl, verse 15. And the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind. Verse 16. The little owl, and the great owl, and the swan. Verse 17. And the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the Comoran, verse 18, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All right, and the bat. Even Shlaki, verse 19, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you, that shall not be eaten. All right. But all these, it's like, but of all clean fowls you may eat if it's clean. All right. How you know that it's clean? By going through this, and you can pull up these names. Just Google all these different names, and it'll show you all different types of birds that you may not eat. Why? Because these birds eat flesh. All right. These are flesh eating birds. Meaning what? They eat dead animals. They eat other creeping things. They don't eat herbs. All right. They don't eat the things that will be good for you. All right. All right. All these things you may not eat. And they give you a whole description of all different types of birds you can eat and all the different types of birds you may not eat. Chicken is most definitely good for you. All right. We can all eat chicken. We can all eat the dove. All right. That's just a few of birds that we can't eat. All right. So we'll jump back into verse 21 in the Hebrew. Uh-oh. Wrong one. All right. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, and verse 21. Excuse me. In the Hebrew. La'ah, da'akalawa, kal, nabala, lagar, ashar, bashai, rayad, ta, na, slaki, ta, na, wa'akala, wa'akala, awa, makar, lana, karaya, kaya, id, kadawash, ath, la yahawa, alahayad, la'ah, dabashal, slaki, dabashal, gadaya, bakhalab, amarwa, slaki, amarwa. Verse 22, Ishar, the Ishar, Ath, Kal, Dabawa Ath, Zara, Id, Hayataza'ah, Hashadah, Shana, verse 23, Wa'akalat, Lapanya, Slaki, Lapa Naya, Yahweh, Alahayad, Bamakwa, Wam, Ashar, Yabakar, Lashakan, Shamawa, Sham, Ma'ai Shara, Daga Nad, Daya Rashad, Wayataza Rod, Wadakarath, Bakwarad, Wataza'a Nad, Lama Ain, Dala Mad, Laya Ra'ah, Yahweh, Alahayad, Kal, Hamayam, Mayam, verse 24, Wakaya, Yarabah, Mamad, Hadarad, Kaya, La'ah, Tawakal, Sha'ah, the Wa, Kaya, Yara, Kakwa, Mamad, Hamakor, Wam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayad, Lasha, Wam, Shamawam, Shamawa, Sham, Kaya, Yabarakad, Yahweh, Alahayad, verse 25. Wanatha, Baka Sapa, Watazarath, Hakasak, Slaki, Bayadak, Wahala, Kath, Al, excuse me, Hamakwa, Wam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayad, Bawa, verse 26, Wanatata, Haka, Sap, Bakal, Ashar, Da'awa, Napashak, it's like it, Napashak, Babaquar, Wabatazar, Ana, Wabaya, Yun, Wabashakar, Wabakal, Ashar, Dasha Alad, it's like it, Dasha Alak, Napashak, Wa'a Kalat, Shum, Lapanya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Washama, Kath, Ata, Wabaya, it's like it, Wabaya, Yaba, it's like it, Waba Yatak, verse 27, Wabaha Lawa, it's like it, Laha, Waha, Lawaya, Ashar, Basha'ai, Rayak, La'ah, the Aizaba, Nawa, Kaya, Ayan, Lawa, Khalak, Wana Khala, Imad, it's like Amak, verse 28, Makwa Tazah, Shalash, Shanayam, Dawatazah, Ya'ah, Ka, Ma'ai Shira, Shlaki, Ma'aishar, Dabawa, Atak, Bashana, Hawa'ah, Wahana, Khath, Basha'ai, Rayak. Verse 29. Waba'ah, Halawaya, Slaki, Halawaya, Kaya, Ayan, Lawa, Kalak, Wana Khala, Aimak, Wahagar, Wahaya, Tawam, Waha'ala, Mana, Ashar, Bashai, Slaki Bashai, Rayak, Wa'akalawa, Washabaiwa, Lama'ain, Yabara, Ka, Yahweh, Allahayak, Bakal, Ma'aisha, Yadak, Ashar, the Aisha. All right. Now we're going to get that in the English and see exactly what we said in the English. And we're going to start at verse 21. Uh-oh. All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 21. Ye should not eat of anything that dieth of itself. All right. The same way I just explained, right? These animals, these fowls, these beasts, if they eat of anything that's dead, all right, that makes you unclean. That's what makes that animal unclean. That's why you should not eat it, because it eats flesh. All right. Anything that eats flesh is unclean unto you. So you may not eat it at all. All right. You should not eat of anything that dieth of itself. I shall give it unto the strangers that is in thy gates, that he may eat, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. All right. An alien is just somebody from a foreign country. All right. That's not from your land. That's not your people. Or the people that's living in your gates that is still not of your people. You can give it to them, or you can sell it to them, or the aliens that's not in your gates, but they're from foreign countries, like far out. All right. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Holy means separate, right? Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk. All right. Meaning what? All right. You should not eat like a cow that is pregnant. All right. That is still birthing a baby. All right. An animal that is pregnant, you may not eat that. That's basically what it's saying. All right. And its mother's milk, basically, it's telling you a pregnant animal you cannot eat. Verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. Verse 23. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. All right. That's another thing too that you must understand. That's why if the Lord chooses a place for us to have a Passover, that's where we're gonna have the Passover. All right. Maybe a lot of people may think that, okay, the Lord will always choose Jerusalem, to have the Passover. But if they are going to war and the Lord is trying to
get these people about this land. And why would we have a Passover over there while they going to war? It doesn't make sense. All right. And people that's just uneducated on things like this is and this such. All right. We're in captivity right now. So wherever the Lord chooses for us to have a Passover and celebrate the feast, that's where he's going to choose it at. Right there where we're at. All right. We're not fit to go way back to Jerusalem to have a Passover. All right. The tithing of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, and the firstlings of thy herbs, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. Verse 24. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God have blessed thee. Verse 25. Then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. All right. So we already know tithing is, whatever increase the Lord gives you. All right. And it's not money, not just money. But the Lord is saying, if it's too much for you to carry, whatever your increase is, then you go and turn it to money, and then you go to the place. All right. So it's not necessarily just money. It's not necessarily all just your increase. If you're not able to carry it, then you turn it to money to make your load lighter, so you can be able to make it to the place, because the Lord wants you to make it to the feast. All right. So it should be no excuse why you're not there at the feast. All right. Verse 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, and for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household. Verse 27. And the Levites that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he have no part nor inheritance with thee. All right. Knowing that the Levites don't have inheritance. They don't have a part of the land. They dwell in everybody's land, but they don't have a land for themselves. All right. So everywhere he go is his home. You ever heard of the saying, where he lay his hat is his home? So he belongs everywhere, even if it's in a Benjamite territory, a Judite territory, Ephraim territory. He is willing to dwell. He can dwell in any one of these places if he want, but he don't have his own per se. All right. So you do not forsake the Levites. All right. The Levites is the one that carry out the judgments if you do something wrong or you break the laws. All right. They carry out the judgments. It's pretty much like uh, police or judges. All right. You do something wrong, they come and stone you, or they come and unalive you. All right. You don't forsake the Levites. Verse 28. And the end of the 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe and slake of thy increase the same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. Verse 29. And the Levites, because he have no part nor inheritance with thee, and the strangers, and the fatherless, and the widows, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thy hand which thou doest. All right. So let's jump to the next chapter, which is chapter 15. All right. And we're going to get that in the Hebrew. Damn, that's loud. It's loud. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, and verse 1 in the Hebrew. Makwatazah, Shabai, Shanayam, Daisha, Shamata. Verse 2, Wazah, Dabar, Hashemah, Hashemata, Shamawat, Kal, Baal, Mashah, Yadawa, Ashar, Yeshah, Barai, Hawa, La'ah, Yagash, Ath, Ra'ai, Hawa, Wa'ath, Acha, Yawa, Kaya, Kara'ah, Shamata, La Yahweh. Verse 3, Ath, Anakah, Rayah, Dagash, Wa'ashar, Yahaya, Lad, Ath, Achayad, Dasha, Mata, Yadak. Verse 4, Apasa, Kaya, La'ah, Yahaya, Bak, Abaya, 1, Kaya, Barak, Yabara, Kak, Yahweh, Ba'aratazah, Ashar, Yahweh, Alaha, Yak, Nathan, Lad, Nacha, Larashata. Verse 5, Rak, Shamawai, Dashamai, Bakwawal, Yahweh, Alahayak, Lashamar, Laasha, Wath, Ath, Kal, Hamatzah, Wa, Hazaath, Ashar, Anakaya, Matzawak, Hayawam. Verse 6, Kaya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Barakak, Ka'ashar, Dabar, Lak, Wahai, Batath, Gawayam, Rabayam, Wa'ata, La'ah, Da'ai, Batak, Wamasha, Lath, Bagawayam, Rabayam, Wabak, La'ah, Yamashal, Lawa. Verse 7, Kaya, Yahaya, Bak, Abaya, 1, Ma'akad, Salaki, Akayak, Ba'akad, Sha'ai, Rayak, Ba'arat Zadak, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Nathan, Lak, La'ah, Da'a, Mataza, Lababak, Wala'a, Daqua, Pataza, Yadak, Ma'aka, Ma'aka, Ma'akaya, Ma'akayad, Salaki. Verse 8, Kaya, Patak, Tapatak, Ath, Yadak, Lawa, Wahai, Bata, Daibaya, Tanawa, Daya, Makasarwa, Ashar, Yakasar, Lawa, verse 9, Hashamar, Lad, Pun, Yahaya, Dabar, Aim, Laba, Bak, Balaya, Al, La'amar, Karabah, Shanath, Hashabai, Shanath, Hashamata, Wara'ai, Ayanat, it's like Ayanak, Ba'akayak, Ha'aba, Yawan, Wala'a, Tathan, Lawa, Wakura'a, Alayak, Al, Yahweh, Wahaya, Bak, Kata'ah, verse 10, Natha, 1, Tathan, Lawa, Wala'ah, Yarai, Lababak, Bata, Tak, Lawa, Kaya, Bagalala, Hadabar, Hazaha, Yaba Rakak, Yahweh, Allahayak, Bakal, Ma'aishak, Wabakal, Mashalach, Yadak. All right. I'm going to go one more. Verse 11. Kaya, La'a, Yakadal, Abiyawan, Makurab, Ha'arataza, Al, Khan, Anakaya, Mataza, Wak, La'amar, Patak, Dapatak, Ath, Yadak, La'akayak, La'ai, Nayak, Wala'a, Bayanak, Ba'ira, it's like Ba'aratazada. All right. Now we're going to get that into English, starting from the beginning. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 1. At the time of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. Verse 2. And this is the manner of the release. Every creator, it's like every creditor that lendeth out unto his neighbors shall release it. He shall not exact, it's like he shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother thine hand shall release. Save when, it's like in verse 4, save when there shall be no poor among you. The Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. All right. So basically, what this is give you the breakdown on lending money. All right. When you lending money, you must release it. And these are that's why, listen, that's why the laws, statutes, commandments are so righteous. You know what I mean? It gives you it gives you proper ways on how to treat your brother and how to treat strangers and how to treat, you know what I mean, your enemies. All right. These law, statutes, commandments show us how to be a proper people. All right, because if you go to your if you go to your enemies is not going to show you how to be the right people. All right, they want you to be a slave. They want you to be them and to be lower than them. They will never let you be higher than them. All right, they damn sure can't teach you how to be you. All right, because it's so crazy how they take your Bible and teach you how to be you. That's insane. All right. You should be able to teach you how to be you. All right. You should be able to teach your children how to be the proper people. All right. Not no other nation, because this does not belong to every other nation. All right. Like if you read it in Hebrews 5 and 12, when ye ought to be teachers, you have one that teach you again, just paraphrasing, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. Before you can be taught by anybody else, all right, you have to be taught. And no other nation can teach you about you but you. This is your book. This is your history book. This is your inheritance. This is your life. All right. It's not about nobody else. All right. Verse 15, verse 5. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. Verse 6. For the Lord thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. All right. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. All right. And this is the proper position of, our people, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right. You should reign over many nations. All right. Like if you read it in Deuteronomy 7 and 6 and Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. All right. It lets you know that the Lord set us above everybody if we listen to the voice. All right. And we listen to these laws, statutes, commandments. He's going to set us above everybody. That's how it should be. Nobody should reign over you, but you should reign over them. You should lend out to them, but they should not lend out to you. All right. You should not have to go out and borrow anything. All right. They should be able to borrow from you, but you don't borrow from them. All right. You can lend to them, but you can't borrow from them. All right. You shouldn't have to, because you are rich in spirit. You have in that land flowing with milk and honey. They have to come to you for everything. When we get our land back, when you hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, we're going to come back to that land, and we will never have to borrow from anybody. We'll never have to go to our enemies for the wants of all things. All right. Verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within all thy gates, in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thy hand for thy poor brother. All right. You should always be willing to give out to your brother that's unfortunate to have the things that you have. All right. Maybe he's, he have a medical condition. Maybe he is disabled. All right. He's not able to go out and work and do the things that you do. All right. You should not do that to your brother that is poor. You don't know what the situation is. You should never close your hand. You should always want to give to your brother. If you look at these days, you know what I mean? You have our people just looking down on the poor people that is less fortunate to have things or be able to work. And they look down on our brothers and sisters, man. No, we have to do better as a people, man. And this is what it's explaining. This is the spirit of brotherhood. All right. If you don't have the spirit of brotherhood, man, listen, you're lost. You have no connection with the Most High or Christ. All right, let's go to verse 8. But thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him significantly for his need, and that which he wanteth. All right, whatever your brother need, you should not, you know what I mean, tuck your pocket in, or you know what I mean, go the other way, or you know what I mean, what they call it, being stingy. You should never do that with your brother that can't work and is poor. You should open up your hand widely, meaning what? You should be gladly to help your brother out. All right. Never do that to your brother that's less fortunate to go out and make money like you do. All right. Don't be like your oppressors. Verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eyes be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him nothing, or slacking, nothing. And he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be a sin unto you. All right. Verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest in thy hand unto. Slakia. Verse 11. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land. All right. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. All right. I broke it down for you. It's something you shouldn't do. See, it's sad because your oppressors, you watch your oppressor do your brothers like this, and you do nothing about it. All right. You don't go out and help your brother out when he is in need. All right. It don't matter if you don't have nothing or a little bit of nothing. All right. Help your brother out. Get him a little something. Feed him. I mean, if you see your brother is hungry, go give him something to eat. If you see if he's thirsty, go get him something to drink. If you need clothes, go find out where you can go to like a thrift store and get him some clothes. Get him what he needs. Not what he wants, but what he needs. What he asking. These are things that he needs. All right. 1 second. All right. All right, we're going to start back at verse 12. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 12. Kaya, Yamakar, Lad, Akayad, Ha'ai, Barayah, Hawa, Ha'ai, Barayah, Wa'ai, Badak, Shasha, Shanayam, Wabashah, Wabashana, Hashabah, Ya'ith, Dashalah, Kanawa, Kapashayot, Slaki, Kapa, Shaya, Ma'ai Mak, verse 13. Wakaya, Dashala, Kanawa, Kapashaya, Ma'ai, Mak, La'a, Dashalak Nawa, Wayakwam, verse 14. Ha'ai Nayak, the I Naya, it's like it, the I Nayak, Lawa, Mataza'a, Nak, Wamagara, Nak, Wamaya, Kwabak, Ashar, Barakad, it's like it, Barakak, Yahweh, Alahayak, the Thun, Lawa, verse 15. Wazakar Rath, Kaya, Ida, it's like it, Ibad, Hayayath, Ba'arataza, Matazara, it's like it, Matazararium, Wayapadak, Yahweh, Allah Hayak, Al, Khan, Anakaya, Matazah, Wak, Ath, Adabar, Hazaha, Hazawam, Slaki. Verse 16. Wahaya, Kaya, Ya'amar, Alayak, La'a, Ataza'ah, Ma'ai, Mak, Kaya, Ahabak, Wa'ath, Bayatak, Kaya, Tawab, Lawa, Amak, verse 17. Walakwa, Quath, Ath, Hamarataza, that's like it, Maratazai, Wanatha, Ba'a Zanawa, Wabada Lath, Wahaya, Lak, Ibad, Iwalam, Wa'ap, La'ama, Tak, Da'asha, Khan, verse 18, La'a, Yakwash, Ba'ai Yanak, Bashalah, Kak, Atawa, Kapashaya, Ma'ai Mak, Kaya, Mashana, Shakayar, Shakayar, Ibadak, Shasha, Shanayam, Wabarakak, Yahweh, Alahayak, Ba'akal, Ashar, the Aisha, verse 19, Kal, Habakawar, Ashar, Yawalad, it's like Yawalad, Babakwar, it's like Babakwar Rock, Babakarak, Wabataza Nak, Hazakar, Dakwa Dashiya, like Da Kwada Yash, La Yahweh, Alahayak, La'a, Da'i Bad, Babakar, Shawarak, Wala'a, the Agazar, it's like the Agazar, Bakawar, Taza Anak, verse 20, Lapunya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Da'akala Nawa, Um, Wana, Bashana, Bamakwa, Wam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Atha, Waba, Yathak, verse 21, Wakaya, Yahaya, Bawa, Mawam, Pasak, Awa, I war, Call, Mawam, Rai, La'a, Data, Slaki, Dazaba, Slaki, Dazab, Kanawa, Ya La Yahweh, Allah Hayak, verse 22, Bashai, Bashai, Rayak, Da'akal, Lanawa, Hata Ma'a, Wahata, Wahata, Hawa, Yakadawa, Yakadawa, um, Katazab, Katazabia, Waka'a, Y'all. All right. Now we'll pick back up in the English at verse 12. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 12. And if thy brother, a Hebrew man, or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free. All right, that's some. Now, in the slavery days, they try to emulate this in the slavery days, but they didn't do the same thing. All right, and it was by the wrong people. All right, your oppressor, he tried to keep you more than 7 years. He kept you for life. You belong to him. If you have children, they belong to him. But you, as a man, you can go free. If you belong to him too, all y'all are still slaves. All right. But this is giving you, if you buy a servant, all right, get it. They're not talking about slaves, they're talking about servants, meaning Hebrew women and men that will work for you, not slave for you. All right. On the 7th year, you should let him go. All right. You should let him go. So they can go out and they can go and work for somebody else or whatever they choose to do at that time. All right. Verse 14. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of the flock and out of thy floor and out of thy winepress of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. Verse 15. And thou shalt remember that thou hast a bondman. It's like that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing to this day. Salaki, excuse me. Verse 16. And it shall be, if he say unto him and say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, and thy house, because he is well with thee. All right. Then thou shalt take a awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be the servant forever. All right. And also unto thy servants, thou shalt do likewise. All right. Now, if you say, I don't want to leave, I want to stay, and I want to work for my brethren. All right. I want to work for him. Well, he should he should take a awl and thrust it through his ear. All right. The awl, if I'm not mistaken, is like a tag or something like that. Just pretty much letting them know that you are the property of that brother. All right. You belongs to that brother. You are a servant, not a slave, but a servant of that brother. You work for him forever because that's what you chose to do. Like in slavery, you didn't have no choice. They made you do it. All right. They made you do a lot of things that you did not want to do. But this right here is showing the spirit of brotherhood, and this is how you treat a servant. All right. In verse 18, it should not seem hard unto thee. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay. And also unto thy maid service, thou shalt do likewise. All right. Same thing with the brother or a sister. That's a man's servant or maid servant. All right. Verse 18. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou seest him away free from thee, for he have been worth a double hire servant to thee. All right. Get it. He said a hire. All right. He hired him. That means he freely wanted to work for this brother. All right. Now in the slavery, they forced us. Right. We became their property, became goods to our oppressor. All right. We didn't get hired. We have got forced. Meaning we didn't have a choice. And they didn't make us servants, they made us slaves. All right. They put us on and in the field to do some rigorous work all day long, whipping our back, you know what I mean, unaliving us, raping our women, raping our men. It's doing all kind of evil to the slaves. All right, that's what they must pay for everything that they did to the children of Israel. So you don't want to get caught up and do the same thing to your servants. All right, let's go to 19. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify unto the Lord thy God, that thou doest no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor share the nor share the firstling of thy sheep. Verse 20, and thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God year by year, in the place which the Lord shall choose. Thou shalt thy and thy household. Verse 21. And if there be any blemish therein, as it is, be that if it be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. All right, because the Lord thy God wants your best. All right, he always wants your best. He don't want no half for anything. You don't do the Most High like that. All right, he wants your best. Basically, what he's saying. Verse 22: Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hurt. All right. So next week, Lord allow, we're going to pick back up and do Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 23. All right. And we're going to close out the Sabbath. So
La Yashala. All right, with that, I say Amidium, which means to stand. Upon Hakadam means turn to face the east. Wherever your east is, we're going to set up the Lord's Prayer. All right. Repeat after me. First in the Hebrew and then in the English. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Yah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Daba'ah, Ratazakah, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanaw, Nakam, Ka, Yawan, Basalakanaw, Kawawakanaw, Kasalaknaw, Kawawakanaw, Wala'ah, Dalianaw, Manasayawan, Ball, Hawashanaw, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Malakwa, Wala'ala, Wakapara, La'ayla, Lamim, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. A cup is a prayer for power. All right? Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shah, Baba Shah, Nathanael, a cup, Laura Fa'ah, Kal, Malaka'ah, Slaki, Kal, Makala, Wakal Marawa, a cup, Latahar, Hatazam Orion, a cup, Lahakoyam, Hamathium, a cup, Al Rakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem, Yahshah, the water Amah. In English, Power, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Hahariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Ashah, Shabayam, Wa'aratazah, Ayathan, Lamawat, Bagalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ala, Yayashan, Shalmar, Yasharala, Hawa, Shamarka, Yahawa, Tadalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawaman, Ashamash, La'akaka, La'ayakaka, Wayarak, Bala Yala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Bakal Rai, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar Taza Ak, Baba Wa'aka, Ma'ai, Wa'ai I belong. In English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth Israel shall not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall not slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Psalms 83. Alahayim, Al Nayamalaka, Al Nakarash, Al Nashakwat, Al Kaya, Na, I, Al Slaki, Al Wayabika, Yahamayamu, Slaki, Yahama, Yawan, Wama Shanayaka, Na'a, Nash Slaki, Nasha Awa, Ra'ash, Imaka, Ya Ira Yamwa, Sawa, Wayata, Ya Aita Zawa, Al to Al Tazapa Wanyika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yasakar, Sham Yasharala, Awad, Kanya, Nawa Atasawa, La, Yakawa, Aulika, Warya, Yakarafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayash Slaki, Wayashamai, Alayam, Mawa'awa, Wahagarian, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palasha, Anya Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nala Nalawa, Amam, Ayawa, Zarawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Kamayim, Kasaya Sara'ah, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kawashwan, Ashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Amar, Da'ara, Ayawa, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nadiyamwa, Kaira, Wakazaba, Waka, Tazamanai, Ka, Nasayakamwa, Marwa, Nayarasha, Nayarasha, Nanawa, Af, Na'awa, Alahaya, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Apanya, Rakar, Ka'ash, the Bara'ira, Ya'ira, Wakalaha, Slani, Waka, Lahaba, Dalahat, Gari, Khan, Daradama, Wasa'ira Yaka, Wabasawapanyaka, the Bahalia, the Bahalam, Salaki, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shankar, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ai, Wayakaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Ah, Shankar, Yahawa, Labadka, Al, Yawan, Al, Tau, Ha'aratazar. In English, keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. Thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more bear remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites, Jabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inheritance of Tyre. Swords also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Kathir, and to Jabin at the brook of Kasan, which prayers to endure. They became as dawn for the earth. Make their nobles like a red and like Zeid. Yea, all their princes as a Ba and as a Muna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of our power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth their wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea,
Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Blessed in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Mazazab Ya'ah. Alawap Yahana. Ha Alawapian. Ha Sararium. Hakwa Tazal Yayom. Hakaya Yayom. Yayom. Ha I'm slacking. Waha Akwapian. Yahweh. Hashem. Yahweh Shah. Tawad Aman. In English. Blessed Yahweh and Yahweh Shah and Michael and the angels, Commander General Yahama, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it. All right. So all means a turn, and that concludes the class.